Good morning to everyone. I am Dr. K. Vijay Kumar, Associate Professor, Public Administration, Government City College, Hyderabad. Today, our topic is Comparative Public Administration. Comparative Public Administration. In this topic, these are the subtopics that are objectives, introduction, origin of computer public administration, CPA. CPA is nothing but comparative public administration. Meaning and scope of comparative public administration. Significance of comparative public administration. Source of comparative public administration. There are so many sources are there. Objectives, introduction, origin of CPA means comparative public administration, meaning and scope of comparative public administration, significance of comparative public administration, and source of source of comparative public administration. The source are policy oriented catalysts. Policy oriented catalysts. Then comparative political management. Comparative political management. It is a American aid program. The main comparative public administration. It is a American aid program, and COG means year, comparative administrative group. Comparative administrative group. Then approaches of comparative public administration. Approaches of comparative public administration. These are the approaches. There are three approaches. One is bureaucratic system approach, then general system approach, then development approach. These are three approaches of or comparative public administration approaches. Then decline and revival of comparative public administration. Decline and revival of comparative public administration. Lastly, conclusion. Objectives of comparative public administration. The concept of comparative public administration that has some objectives. Those are: explain the meaning and scope of comparative public administration. Explain the meaning and as well as scope of comparative public administration. Then identify the main sources of comparative public administration. Identify the main sources of comparative public administration. Then describe the comparative public administration group. Then explain the approaches of comparative public administration. Then explain the advantages and disadvantages of comparative public administration. These are the objectives of the comparative public administration. Then introduction. Comparative public administration CPA is the youngest discipline among the social sciences. As an academic discipline, it came into existence in the post-Second World War period. It is a youngest discipline. Comparative public administration is the youngest discipline among the social sciences, and as an academic discipline, it came into the existence in the post-Second World War period. The comparative study of administrative system has grown up with the comparative study of politics. The comparative study of administrative system has grown up with the comparative study of politics also. Just like before we are discussed the early classes, that is same administration came from politics. Here also comparative study of administration system has grown up with the comparative study of politics. These are the interrelated, politics as well as administration. So comparative study of administration as well as comparative study of politics, interrelated subjects. Then the study of comparative politics, the study of comparative politics has placed emphasis upon voting behavior, political attitudes, the activities of interest groups, and so on. CPA, Comparative Public Administration, is a branch of public administration that focuses on comparative analysis of administrative process and institutions. Comparative approach basically emerged in response to the intellectual argue to find out the universal basis for administrative phenomenon. Comparative public administration is the youngest discipline among the family of social sciences, and all social sciences also. As an academic discipline, it came into existence in the post-Second World War period. Even though the literature on public administration is the pre-war period lacked cross-cultural component. It was not devoid of a comparative element. Besides, it provided necessary background for the growth and development of the discipline in the post-war period. Therefore, it would be pertinent to analyze the early literature from the perspective. The comparative study of administrative system has grown up with the comparative study of politics. Both share common characteristics such as general outlook identified by behavioralism, efforts to be interdisciplinary in interests and techniques, and efforts to arrive at concepts and theories that can be analyzed in cross cultural and cross national contexts. The study of comparative politics has placed emphasis upon voting behavior, political attitudes, the activities of interest groups, and so on. It is only now when the concern has come to rest more on the performance of the government and the process of policy making that the focus of inquiry has been shifting back to institutions. Bureaucracy being the institution most clearly associated with performance has become the focus of the study. The comparative study of public administration grown up with the comparative study of politics. Then after bureaucracy being the institution most clearly associated with performance has become the focus of the study. Then comparative public administration is a branch of public administration that focuses on the comparative analysis of administrative process and institutions. It focused on process as well as institutions. Comparative approach basically emerged in response to intellectual argue to find out a universal basis for administrative phenomenon. The condition for any discipline to be entitled for the a science status of a science is its universal validity. The major hurdles for development of science of administration arise from the ecological settings as described in the earlier. It has been felt particularly during the post Second World War period that administration in developing countries is culture specific. As a result, it is believed that each system is unique in its own way. This widespread feeling lead to the examination of administrative pattern in cross national and cross cultural context. For this purpose, it has been advocated to undertake rigorous and systematic comparative analysis. This effort is aimed to developing a general theory of administration based on global experience. It started after the second pre in the pre-war then origin of CPA, comparative public administration. Origin of CPA. The Pendleton Act in 1883. The Pendleton Act 1883. Spoil system was prevailing in the USA, United States of America. This act replaced spoil system for selection to the civil services by merit criterion. This act was the result of assassination of President Garfield by one of his disgruntled supporters, whom the former failed in providing a job. That is the situation in those days in USA. Then his assassination was followed by political and administrative turmoil in America, while the relevance of spoil system as a method of recruitment was being debated. Woodrow Wilson published his seminal essay, The Study of Administration, which was published in 1887. In his writing, Wilson floated the idea that certain administrative practices of European countries need to be studied and even could be borrowed by the USA without adopting their autocratic spirit. Woodrow Wilson argued that if I see murderous fellow sharpening a knife cleverly, I can borrow his way of sharpening the knife without borrowing his probable intention to commit murder with it. Woodrow Wilson did not emphasize in his essay that exchange of administrative concepts and experiences was necessary for the growth of discipline of public administration. He was interested in gaining more and more knowledge about the administrative systems of European countries and to borrow certain good practices from their administrative system for incorporating them in the administration of the United States of America. Thus, the Woodrow Wilson, the father of the public administration, may also be regarded as a pioneer in introducing the concept of comparative public administration in the study of public administration. Further appreciations of F.W. Taylor's ideas and scientific management by Lenin also raised hopes for the comparative approach. Even Lenin USSR also raised comparative approach. Lenin's acknowledgement to Taylor's contribution marks an marks an important landmark in the evolution of organization science. This is considered very significant because the concepts of developed in the context of rise of capitalism were found relevant in a diametrically opposite political system based on anti-capitalist ideology. The Hawthorne experiments by Elton Mayo and Roethlisberger contributed to the behavioral movement in public administration, but could not contribute much to the field of comparative public administration. They contributed only for the behavioral movement in public administration, but not in the comparative administration. However, there existed a comparative element in it because this movement propounded the concept of informal organization. In his theory, behavioral approach, there is a formal and informal approaches. So, they propounded the concept of informal organizations, which were considered a precondition for the success of formal organizations. If informal organization is conditioned and perfect, then automatically it will reflect on the formal organization according to their behavioral approach. That's Elton Mayo and Roethlisberger. The comparisons noticed here were descriptive rather than analytical and were cultural bound, limited to the Western nations, were non-ecological in perspective and lacked cross-cultural, cross-temporal and cross-national elements. Western nations, the comparisons noticed here were descriptive rather than analytical and were cultural bound, limited to Western nations, were non-ecological in perspective and lacked cross-cultural, cross-temporal and cross-national elements. Therefore, the traditional literature was non-comparative in character. That is common in this lack of the cross-cultural as well as cross-national elements, etc., etc. Therefore, the traditional literature was non-comparative in the character. That is the origin of the CPA, comparative public administration. Also, the post-Second World War phase. In those days, the post-Second World War phase, the literature on public administration was restricted to the study of Western administrative system only in those days, which represented the same culture, highlighting the inability of this literature to provide the discipline of public administration and the status of a science. Robert Dahl emphasized the importance of comparison as a prerequisite for the development of a science of public administration. Robert Dahl said this. This provided much needed direction to the discipline, and the scholars got motivated to transcend the national boundaries while conducting research in public administration. The dissatisfaction of the scholars with the parochial nature of traditional literature may be stated as an important reason for the growth of discipline of comparative administration during the post-war period. Secondly, during the war period, both sides annexed same of the colonies of the rival forces in the Afro-Asian and Latin American continents. These annexations provided an opportunity to the practitioner of administration to get an exposure to the administrative system of the annexed countries. They, however, found the administrative system of the annexed territories differed a great deal from their native system, and when they tried, the established principles of administration evolved in the Western setting. This evoked an argue among the scholars to study of administrative system of the countries outside Europe and as well as America. Thirdly, after the Second World War, several countries of Asia, Africa, Latin America became independent by throwing away the yoke of imperialism. The newly emerged countries were greatly exploited, and at the dawn of their independence, they were facing enormous problems like those of poverty, unemployment, hunger, ill health, literacy, agriculture, and industrial backwardness, lack of infrastructure. Different types of problems are they are facing at the time of they got freedom from the different nations. Fourthly, in the post-World War, a number of agencies came forward to extend financial support to the institutions, and scholars engaged in conducting research abroad, particularly in the developing countries, third world countries. The Ford Foundation and the Agency for International Development were prominent among them. These agencies were interested to know more about the administrative problems of the emerging countries. This gave impetus to research efforts in comparative public administration. With financial assistance from the Ford Foundation, the Comparative Administrative Group (COG) contributed significantly in the study of administrative system of developing countries. The favorable opportunities existed for those interested in conducting research in the field of comparative public administration during the 1950s and 1960s. The most important single contribution to the growth of comparative public administration came from the Comparative Administrative Group only. It is established in 1960 as a Committee of American Society for Public Administration, ASPA, founded in 1939. ASPA, American Study of Public Administration, American Society for Public Administration, which was founded in 1939. The eminent scholars associated with the COG were F.W. Riggs, Alfred Diamant, Ferraldi, Dwight Waldo, Martin Landau, William Safin, John Montgomery, and Bertram Gross and others. However, the F.W. Riggs was the major exponent of the comparative approach to public administration. F.W. Riggs was the major exponent of comparative approach to public administration. He was considered as the father of comparative public administration, and he was chairman of the comparative administrative group to one decade, that is 1960 to 1970. The COG was established with three broad objectives, that is, to encourage research in comparative public administration, then to encourage teaching of comparative public administration, to encourage research and encourage teaching, then to contribute to more effective public policy formulation in the field of development administration. These are the three broad objectives of CAG, Comparative Administrative Group. It was established the assistance of Ford Foundation. They aided by F.W. Riggs for one decade. Then meaning and scope. CPA, Comparative Public Administration, is defined as the study of administrative system in a comparative fashion, or study of public administration in other countries. According to Robert H. Jackson, the comparative public administration is defined as the study of administrative system in a comparative fashion, or study of public administration in other countries. The different authors explain different views to comparative public administration. According to Robert Jackson, comparative public administration is that facet of the study of public administration which is concerned with making cross-culture comparison, structures, process, etc. in the activity of administration of public affairs. According to him, the study of public administration which concerned with making cross-culture comparison, structures, process, etc. in the activity of administration of public affairs. This is called, it is nothing but comparative administration, comparative public administration. Then comparative public administration is a study of public administration as a comparative basis. According to Nimrod Rappel, It traced the origin of comparative public administration to the 1952 conference on administration held at Princeton University in USA. He said comparative public administration is a new corner to the community of academic instruction and research. Nimrod Raphaeli, in the conference which was held in 1952 at Princeton University in USA, he said comparative public administration is a new corner to the community of academic instruction and research. Then, according to Riggs, the term comparative should be used only for empirical homeostatic studies, means universal studies. He outlined three trends in the study of comparative public administration. Those are normative approach towards empirical approach. Then second one is ideographic towards homothetic. The third one is non-ecological towards an ecological for the study of public administration. But comparative administrative group says that comparative public administration is a theory of public administration applied to the diverse culture and national settings and the body of factual data by which it can be examined and tested. The comparative, also according to Nicholas Henry, comparative public administration is different from traditional or American public administration in two respects. One is public administration is cultured bound, ethnocentric, while comparative public administration is cross-cultured in its orientation and thrust. Public administration is practitioner oriented and involves the real world, whereas comparative public administration attempts to the theory building and seeks acknowledge for the sake of knowledge. Comparative administrative group, which was formed in 1963, described comparative public administration as the systematic study of political system. It is the systematic study of political system with the aim of developing scientific theories which could be applied to diverse cultures and national settings and the body of factual data by it can be examined and tested. According to Edward Shilts, the inquiry may be considered the comparative if it is proceeds by the use of an analytical scheme through which different societies may be systematically compared, so that by the use of single set of categories, their identities and uniqueness may be disclosed and explained. Lastly, Riggs says same the term comparative should be used only for empirical homothetic studies. He outlined three trends in the comparative study of public administration, from normative approach towards more empirical approaches. Then shifts from indiographic individualist towards homothetic, means universals. Shift from the predominantly non-ecological to an ecological basis for the study of public administration. It is apparent that the focus of comparative public administration was a major development issues faced in American public administration. According to F.W. Riggs, the first trend observed from the definition is fairly well established, and others two trends are perhaps only fast emerging. Then, scope of public administration. The scope of comparative public administration is conterminous with that of public administration. This is because whatever one administrative structure does not in the environmental settings is comparable with its counterpart in other environmental settings. But the question arises as to what should be included in the scope of comparative public administration. The broad areas are the scope of public administration is conterminous with that of public administration. The requisition arises to what should be included in the scope of comparative public administration. There are some broad areas of comparative public administration are polity, social welfare, economy, education, defense management of financial affairs, administrative efficiency, environmental protection, development of infrastructure, local effects, etc. These are the 10 fields or of scope of comparative public administration. Polity. First area is polity. Irrespective of the nature of state and of the form of government, the polity of a country has always deep imprint on the administrative system. The political leadership, political ideology, and the style of functioning of chief executive are most prominent area in this concern. Therefore, a comparative analysis of various countries of all the above said areas can be conducted and therefore constitute an integral part of the scope of comparative public administration. That is polity. Then social welfare. Social welfare covers the problems pertaining to food, housing, health, education, social security, social welfare, employment, etc. These are related to social welfare. Then economy. It deals with the activities of various sectors of the economy, whereas industry, agriculture, foreign trade and commerce, public enterprises, etc. This is related to economy. Then education. Elementary education regarded as an important obligation of the administration in almost all the countries of the world. To this end, administrative structures are created by it. Therefore, comparative analysis of these structures working in one cultural setting may be conducted with their counterparts rooted in other cultural settings. Resultly, such comparisons also constitute a part of the scope of the comparative public administration. Then defense. The administration is also obliged to take effective measures in the field of defense as well as for the stability and progress of a country depends upon how much effectively its policies in the field of defense. The politics includes both maintenance of internal order and depending its external boundaries also. Therefore, a comparative analysis of the defense strategies adopted by the administrative system of various countries is an integral part of the scope of comparative public administration. Then, management of financial affairs. Analysis of the entire financial management of two different administrative structures operating in diverse environmental settings also comes in the fold of comparative administrative studies. This includes the realm of taxation, circulation of money, borrowings, debit structure, foreign exchange, and etc. are the management of financial affairs. Then administrative efficiency. Another area that can be compared in the field of public administration pertains to the efficiency of two administrative structures embedded in diverse environmental settings. It may be found out as to which administrative structure is operating in a more efficient manner in comparison with the other. In this field, it may also be compared as to which one of two administrative structures possesses more capability in the sense of realizing the tasks before it. Then, environmental protection. Environment pollution had already become a major threat for the world towards the end of the previous century. Hence, protection and maintenance of the environment in modern times has been recognized as an important obligation of the administrative the world over. Consequently, various steps taken to this end of the different administrative structures operating in diverse environmental settings also fall in the ambit of comparative public administration. Then development of infrastructure. The development of progress of a country depends upon how efficiency it manages in infrastructure. The comparative analysis of the different administrative structure related with the construction and the maintenance of roads, highways, power generation, irrigation, transport, and means of communication, etc., are the engaged in this task in diverse culture settings can be undertaken, and hence such analysis become part of the scope of comparative public administration. Then lastly, local. Effective, efficient, and well developed local administration is regarded as the sine qua non of political maturity and development of a country. Hence, comparative public administration also takes into its fold those studies of local bodies that are taken up in diverse cultural settings. These are the 10 areas or described 10 fields that constitute the scope of comparative public administration. Next lesson we will complete this total topic. Thank you.